Hey there guys, and happy whatever day it is that you're watching this video. So here we are, at the last video of the Christmas quadruplets. Quadruplets? Yes. Yeah. Quintuplets. Four Christmas coffees. I did not do a video for the Roastology one, mainly because, well, Christmas is a busy time, and by the time I came to do the video, I'd actually finished all the coffee, which is why there's not a video for that one. However, I'm still going to talk about it because, well, I want to. But today, we're going to be doing this coffee, which is from Barti Rum Company. So they don't really do coffee, but they have a rum flavoured coffee, which I'm going to talk about today. And then I'm going to tell you which one is my favourite. So it's been fun drinking all these coffees. And hopefully you've enjoyed the videos I've done about them. And this one might just be slightly longer, because I'm talking about two coffees rather than one. So kick back, relax, get yourselves a coffee, and welcome to Today I Brewed. So, Christmas coffees. You heard me talk about them all in the first video, and I guess I'll just reiterate for the sake of it. But Christmas coffees are fun because they usually taste quite different to coffees that we have, well, pretty much any other time of the year. They taste Christmassy, they feel Christmassy, and well, they're just a good bit of festivity, I think. But I have enjoyed drinking Christmas coffee this year, and it's been nice to try at least 4 of them that are out there. But why don't we just talk about the ones that I haven't tried yet before I kind of break down which was my favourite and why. So first we'll talk about the Roastology coffee. And as I said, I kind of drank it all before I realised I had to make a video about it. So I'm just going to talk about it now and talk about my experience with it before moving on to Barti. And I think it'll be quite interesting. Bless me. So the Roastology one, as I said before, I used to work there, and the Ethiopia I had a few videos back was delicious. So had high hopes for the Christmas coffee, and knowing that a lot of hard work goes into kind of blending them and making them taste nice, I really wanted to try it this year, having not really had any part in the process of it. So it's a blend of 3 different coffees, which come from Sumatra, Ethiopia and Nicaragua. So let's break down the blend of it, and I'll tell you what it tasted like. So the Nicaraguan comes from Jinotega, and the producer of it, I believe, is Aldea Global. It's grown at 1200 metres above sea level. It's a mixed variety of Typica, Caturra and Bourbon, and it's a washed process coffee. The Ethiopian is a mix of Guji and Sidamo. The group that it's come from is Kavoya. It's grown at 1900 metres above sea level, and it's of the heirloom variety. And this one is a natural process. And lastly, we have the Sumatra, which comes from, I believe, Dolok Senggal in Indonesia. The producer is Musfaha Maga Mandiri, I think, if I can read my own handwriting. It's grown at an altitude of 1300 to 1500 metres, and the varieties are Ateng Super, Catamore and Bourbon, and it's a wet hold process. So we have 3 different processes there in the coffee, which have produced a lovely tasting note of candied orange and chocolate. Now, it was a delicious brew, and I very much enjoyed it. There was a lot of candiedness in there, a lovely sweetness that didn't just remind me of candied orange. It was a bit like candied apples, like candy cane type of sweetness as well. But the orange was definitely there, a sweet orange, and the chocolate came through wonderfully. It had a beautiful body, a lovely aroma, and it was super clean on the finish. Interestingly enough, however, I actually drank more of this as an espresso than I did filter. And I think it tastes better as an espresso. The flavours are a lot more, naturally so, concentrated. And the espresso body was lovely and thick. Great viscosity, lovely finish, slightly dry on the finish on the espresso. But it was fantastic. And I definitely preferred it over the filter. Not to say the filter was bad, but the espresso just lifted it, like just a little bit more. And I'd certainly recommend it for anyone. And this probably will be on the shop and in January, probably till early mid-January, I think. But I recommend it. If you get the chance to have it, please go and try it, because it is wonderful. And a great job by the boys in the roastery. So yeah, go get it. Absolutely go get it. So, now we move on to Barti. Now this was a gift from my sister-in-law for my birthday. And I don't usually drink a lot of alcohol-infused coffees. I've had whiskey and bourbon coffees before. And because I'm not a huge fan of whiskey and bourbon, didn't particularly like it that much. But I do love rum, and I love coffee. So this would be a pairing made in heaven for me. Barti do lovely rum. I have a bottle, and I recommend you go get some. As for the coffee, there isn't a whole lot of information about it. I checked on both the Barti website and the website in which they got the coffee roasted, or the roaster that they got the coffee roasted from. And there isn't any information on there either. But what I do know is it's a Colombian coffee. And that's it. But that doesn't mean it's any less of a coffee than the others. It just means there isn't a lot of information about it. But let's talk about it. Let's kind of break down the process and talk about what it was like from grind to cup. Now, it's quite dark roasted coffee actually. I didn't realise how dark it was until I ground it. But it was in grinding it that the aromas really came out. And it was definitely rummy. There was a lot of kind of rumness in there. I want to say like a bit of molasses in there as well. You know, that kind of thick bitteriness that is there when you have like a dark rum. But it was exciting, and Funnily enough, I haven't actually had much of this, so I can't really remember how it tasted, which is pretty good for this video. But I was excited to brew it. And you can see from brewing it that it's got a lovely bloom on it. It just looks so sensual. Maybe there will be some adult material about coffee in the future. This would star very nicely in it because it looked great. The aromas were fantastic. Again, lots of rumness there, like a really deep aroma. It's probably the best way I can describe it. But it smelled great and I really couldn't wait to taste it. So here we are, really, because I can't tell you much about the coffee, but I can tell you what it's like here, which is what I'm going to do. So, lots of rum there. Kind of reminds me of Land's Navy rum a little bit, which I know is a very silly thing to say because it's Barti. But it's got that lovely dark rum aroma to it. There's definitely a deeper aroma there. Real thick, if that makes sense. But I can get the aroma of the Barti rum itself. And it's a delicious rum. It's a spiced rum and it's fantastic. They have not endorsed this video. I just very much enjoy their rum. But I get the aroma there as well. There's definitely spices coming through. So let's give it a taste. Let's see how it is in the cup. My light has gone. Ugh, must be a bit dark there now. Anyway. Gosh, that is delicious. Great body. Like, it moves really well. Feels very caramelly on the tongue. And that same type of thickness. The finish is pretty clean. Like, there's a lingering rum taste, which I would expect. And this very much tastes like their rum. Like, that is fantastic. It's so sweet. Like, really caramelly. And the spices are coming through fantastic. I love that. Absolutely love it. Could I drink a lot of it in one sitting? I don't think so. But this is brilliant. So much flavour, so much feel in the mouth. Lovely weight to it. Like, it's quite medium. But that carameliness is just wow. Like, it almost feels like I'm drinking caramel with a few spices on the way. That's delicious. Fantastic. So, let's talk about the bag. Now, as you can see, it's got their logo on it. It's a lovely brown craft bag. I love the stamp. Like, it's front and center, isn't it? It definitely tells you where it's from. Now, it does say here that it's infused with the rum for 48 hours. And you can definitely tell that. Like, it's not overpowering. It's a lovely balance. And there is definitely hints of the Colombian kind of origin there. Not like too pronounced, but you can tell it's a Colombian coffee. Like, it's lovely. I'm just getting a little aftertaste in the mouth. But the logo is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And yeah, fantastic. It does say on the bag autumn spices and vanilla as the tasting notes, but I think I'm getting more of the spice than I am of the vanilla because it just kind of reminds me of caramel, which is never a bad thing. So, which one of these was my favourite? It's a hard choice because they are all so good. But I think if I had to pick, and they are in no way order of good or badness, or should I just pick my favourite? I don't think I'd feel right rating coffees. But I think my favourite one, it's a tough one, would be the Round Hill Roastery one. And it was just because, if anything, the clarity of the flavours was just more pronounced than any of the others. And it felt very Christmassy to drink, which I have said in my video about this coffee. But it was wonderful. And it's not to say these ones weren't as good. It's just, this one was my favourite. Like, it was great, actually. So there we go. That's Christmas. Christmas is done because the coffees are done. I did say that this would be the last video of the season. I did say that. However, I took a trip to a coffee shop which I believe is called 2323 in Sheffield. It's near Marmaduke's on, I think, Chapel Row. It's a really small place, but they have a great coffee selection. And I bought two, which I really want to talk about because they are fantastic. So there'll be 2 more videos of this season, and then that'll be it for season 2. Because I said last time that I would get better at making videos, and I don't think I have, but I would like to. And I want to do more educational stuff and talk about kind of how I make coffee at home, like the equipment I've got, and processes and all that stuff, to make the channel a bit more educational than just me talking about coffees that I like. So that's it for Christmas. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you all have a good new year. And most importantly, I hope you all have great coffee to drink. So that's it from me today, and I will be back with my other coffees next time. So if you've not got yourselves a coffee yet, go get yourselves one. Put your feet up, relax, it's still the holiday season, and most importantly, thank you for joining me on today's Today I Brewed.